Welcome to Above the Cushion, the ultimate destination for racing enthusiasts and fans of Humboldt Speedway and 81 Speedway. With the Automedic supporting and the Uhlik Music Studio setting the stage, you've got the perfect mix of high-speed action and entertainment. Welcome to Above the Cushion, the ultimate destination for racing enthusiasts and fans of Humboldt Speedway and 81 Speedway. With the Automedic supporting and the Uhlik Music Studio setting the stage, you've got the perfect mix of high-speed action and entertainment. Welcome to Above the Cushion, the ultimate destination for racing enthusiasts and fans of Humboldt Speedway and 81 Speedway. With the Automedic supporting and the Uhlik Music Studio setting the stage, you've got the perfect mix of high-speed action and entertainment. Welcome to Above the Cushion, the ultimate destination for racing enthusiasts and fans of Humboldt Speedway and 81 Speedway. With the Automedic supporting and the Uhlik Music Studio setting the stage, you've got the perfect mix of high-speed action and entertainment. Welcome to Above the Cushion, the ultimate destination for racing enthusiasts and fans of Humboldt Speedway and 81 Speedway. With the Automedic supporting and the Uhlik Music Studio setting the stage.
Race fans, hello and welcome to Thursday night. It is officially Above the Cushion night here for Humboldt Speedway and 81 Speedway. We are live from the Uhlik Music Studio. Need to thank the crew over at KGSO for putting that little intro together. I don't know exactly how I feel about it, but we're going to give her a try. Please appreciate Jeremy Heim, of course, for getting that done for us. We're going to probably go through a couple of renditions of it, but just wanted to get a little something happening. So appreciate everyone for tuning in tonight. Of course, as you can see, got a guest in studio. It is the Hall of Fame man, Mr. David Blocher. I messaged you a couple weeks ago, and I asked you if you'd come on. You said yes, and
Yes.
we scheduled a time. And man, you're here, and it's good to see you.
It's glad to be here. I'm glad to see you too, and just looking forward to a wonderful evening.
We're headed towards championship night. Of course, in the past several times you've been in the Cattsburg seat headed towards championship night, but this year a little, you kind of step back a little bit. Not been racing. Been racing quite a bit with us this year, but not full time chasing the championship. How you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling okay. I lost Dad back in March, and right before racing season started, and that kind of took the wind out of my sails a little bit. And when I finally was able to get back running again, I had issues with the car. Been fighting it all year long, so I'm hoping that this Saturday I've got a few more things figured out where I could be in the top 5 come our super stock race next weekend.
October 5th.
Yes.
So need to thank our great friends over at TM Fencing LLC and Central Spray Foam and Cement Lifting. The fall finale going to happen here for the super stocks. That's always when we got we got a couple years under our belt here, and then JR said, okay, let's turn the specials on. So
Yes.
they've been real good.
Yes, we've really enjoyed having those specials. It's something we've never had before in the past, and that's something that we all look forward to doing. It's very special that JR was able to pull that together, and we have a blast running that special for our class. And I know this year the stock cars had their first classic,
Second one,
and a lot of people come from all over to run that. It's special. It really is.
The stock car thing. There's a few more divisions that are a few more sanctioning bodies that fit into that, but kind of open the rules up a little bit for the super stocks, and
Yes.
we get a few more traveling cars in here. And
yeah, we get a lot from Missouri, and there's a few that come in from Arkansas, and a handful from Oklahoma. But it's great to see all those other drivers coming in across the states to visit us, and we put on a good show for the fans, and that's what it's about. But we really enjoy the competition with all the other drivers coming, because it shows us what we got and what they have and how competitive we are.
yeah, so kind of take us back to the start. Where were you born? Where'd you grow up? And how'd you even get into this crazy life?
I was born in Oisington, Kansas, and 65 we moved here, and Dad started taking us to the racetrack here in 71. and I worked at Valley Center at a body shop. Started my first demolition derby car in '76. That's back when we had the entire front straightaway from turn 4 to turn 1 to run our demolition derby cars on. And then they came up with what they called enduro racing.
Mhm.
So I went into enduro racing. After you ran the enduro, you took the same car and you ran demolition derby that night.
Some of them still do.
Yes. And so we got done early with our enduros, and there was still some racing left in the year. So I'm just going to take my car and go run some races.
Mhm.
And that was in '88. And '89 was the first year I built my first race car. Larry McDaniels helped me put the roll cage in it. And then we had a deal where the thumper class, which is now the stock car class, and they had a deal that if you won 5 features, you automatically moved to the next division.
Or the championship.
Yeah, or the championship. And well, I never won the championship, but I went into the Roadrunner class, which is now the super stock class. That didn't go very well, so I went and got me a limited sportsman.
Yep.
And had a good time with that. And when I was working on the railroad, it took me away from racing a few years off and on. So when I was able to come back, I hit up Gary Riley, and he says, "I'll tell you what, you sell me your car and I'll give you my late model." So I went late model racing. And
what year was that?
98, 99.
Okay, so were you running NCRA, or were you gonna,
No.
that was about the time Tora started coming around.
I never ran that.
Okay.
I was CRA had a class here, late models, but I never did run NCRA or any of that stuff. So I went and David Squire, he had a car. I went and bought it from him and started running the super stock, street, whatever you want to call them at the time. And I wasn't doing very well with that one. And Gary Riley came over to me and said, "We need to get you to win a race." So she started helping me, and we won our first race. That felt pretty good. And then in 2015, that's when I won my first championship. I won it by 5 points. And then the 5 next years, I won championships. And then the 6th year, I lost it by 5 points.
Yeah.
So being a championship weekend coming up, I know what these guys are feeling.
Yeah.
Is my first championship, the first race that I had to go out there and do well. I didn't have to win. I just had to do well. And I spun it in turn 4. Started dead loud. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But
yeah, going into Saturday night, Jared Reimer, he's out there quite a bit on them. So he locked it up last weekend, make it official as soon as he signs in on Saturday night. But that's kind of a rare thing, you know, that this year really, that's the only one locked up. The rest of them are all up for grabs, and a couple of them, just a couple points separate. It's very tough competition.
And that's what's exciting about the championship weekend. But, you know, Jared, he had to be here every single night. He always had to finish in the top 5 to get to where he is now. And that's what it takes is consistency. You don't have to win every race. You just got to be consistent.
Right. And that team has really fought some adversity. The radiator flipped down underneath the car. They've broken a couple input shafts. I mean, it's not come easy.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you got to have a crew willing and able to fix whatever breaks that night, or be able to finish where you have a good points night,
right, in
order to continue. And he has done that this year.
Yeah, been real good. You know, you kind of going back to your dad brought you to the races. Was he a motorsports guy, or was it just something to do in Wichita? Like, how did you end up at the racetrack?
It started with my mom.
Okay.
My mom was a car fanatic, and Dad, he enjoyed the cars, but not as much as my mom did. And once he brought me out here, I was hooked.
You're hooked.
Mom and Dad never did have a race car. They weren't involved with the race team. It was all me.
Yeah, first generation.
Yeah.
That's what it takes. Of course, you get your son involved. Your daughter ran a little bit.
She did. Yep. She ran the Hornets or the mini stock for a couple of years. It was just a lull in her life because when she started nursing school, I told her she was done.
Yeah.
And now we're kind of hinting around her driving my car
Uh-oh.
a little bit off and on. We're talking about it. It's not a done deal yet, but yeah, it's fun getting the family involved in it.
It's always interesting to me to hear stories about how the kids come up with the racing. We've talked to Jeremy Campbell, we've talked to Brian Powers. How did that conversation start, and how did it go with your wife? Of course, like I think Jeremy Campbell and Brian Powers are kind of the exception to the rule because both of their wives are really involved. But
Yes.
There's some of that stuff. How does that conversation start? How does mom take it? How do we get to where we're at?
Well, I met my wife in the hospital.
Oh,
and I was already doing demolition derbies when I met her, and she knew that I was doing it, but she had no idea about the race car that I had in the back of my mind, and she went along with it. What was unique about when we first started racing was we had drivers, the camaraderie down there about the drivers. The wife and the kids had their own thing up in the grandstands. Richard Wilson, his wife and my wife got to be friends with Ted Thomas, his wife and kids. It was a family oriented thing back then. Well, now it's so complicated that it's, technology has taken over way so much.
right.
So,
when Kyle's going to race, does he come to you? Do you go to him? Does he, I think, I can't remember which folk we talked to over at Humboldt, but the kid just shows up in the middle of the night with a race car and is trying to slide it by everyone. How does Kyle come to get behind the wheel?
Well, it was probably in 2017, I believe. Our division was starting to lose cars pretty fast, and I had my old car that Gary Riley had built, and I had a new car from Bob Bills, and I put Kyle in the car just to save the car count, and he took off, and he's doing his own motor thing. He's running the LS. I'm running the Chevy motor. We trade off and on secrets, but he comes to the shop a lot later than I do and kind of copy what I'm doing.
Well, a great racer in his own right. He's picked up a championship, several wins, so he's definitely a chip off the old block for sure.
Yes.
He can get around there. We've not seen him much this year. Got a lot of family stuff going on and busy with his job.
Yeah. So
you retire from your day job a couple years ago. We also shared that with Johnny Whitmore. He retired from his day job recently. Yep. And I'd of course love to retire from my job these days. But when you're going to retire from your day job and you got the race car, was the first thing in your mind, we're just going to go full-time racing?
No.
Because
the problem is when people know you're retired, they think, well, you're retired, you can help do this and this and this and this. And well, you're not working. You have time to do this. And the best thing for you to do is don't tell anybody when you retire, because they're going to hear and they're going to expect you to do other things. But no, when I retired in 2020, I had plans to do other things, but COVID came into play, and that really restricted on 2, maybe 3 years of my activities about racing. In order for me to do any traveling, I'd have to sell the car and get a stock car or a modified, because our class cannot travel anywhere.
Right. It's kind of unique to 81.
It is. So, and that's fine. But in order to do any outside traveling, it's just not in the works for us.
Right. And you retired from the railroad.
Yes,
Is that right?
42
Okay.
years.
42 years on the
42
railroad.
years, yes.
Wow. And so of course, Jake Schroeder here
Yep.
at the track, he's working for the railroad, but we don't see him as much as we normally do. Kind of talk us about your job at the railroad. What were you doing? What were you taking care of? That's always a just a story. When I was in high school, my family was always like, you need to get into the railroad, but you
Yes.
got to know someone to get in there. It's a great job. It's something, because even when I'm 40 this year, but even when I was getting out of high school, there wasn't too many jobs where you could retire from.
Exactly.
So, my grandma was like, you got to get a job you can retire from, kid. Like, take it from me.
Yeah. Well, Dad was working on the railroad at the time in 78. And I had the job on the railroad before I got my diploma. And as soon as I got my diploma, I went to Kansas City to trainman school. And I spent a week up there and came back to Wichita. And I worked out of Wichita for, probably 3 years. I was a conductor, brakeman, switchman is what my titles were.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't an engineer or carman or anything like that. So my job was on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that was a little stressful on my wife, but we got through it because there's a lot of holidays I was gone.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of times on Sundays when we was getting family ready to go to church, the phone would ring and I'd have to go change my clothes into my work clothes and head to work. But it was good. I'm really pleased with being able to retire from the railroad.
Yeah.
I had a couple incidences where over at Hatch for one time, we would run over there for a race, and I got the car there, went out in the heat race. I won the heat race, unloaded or got out of the car, went to work on the railroad, got back in time for the feature, and they'd already started. They wouldn't let me run. But I never have really missed a lot of races with work. I was able to get around that, but it was fun.
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, every once in a while, people working second shift at Boeing or something, their wife would have Warren Hardy call them over the PA that they needed to get to work.
Well, I done that here also. Melissa worked a lot of phone calls for me to, okay, or she'd call my wife from the grandstands, and the wife would go take the call. I knew I'd have 2 hours to get to work. So
yeah,
it happens. Yes.
Another thing I always like to talk about is number.
Okay.
How does someone get to their number? What obviously the B for your last name, but
yes.
how do you get to the 24? Because you can't say Jeff Gordon because you started racing before he did.
I did, yes. But one thing about that is Jeff Gordon and I both got the Rookie of the Year at the same time.
There you go.
But how I got my number was, you've always heard people talk about their anniversary dates.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't remember when my anniversary. Well, I got my number 24,
yeah.
January 24.
January 24.
That is my number. It's been my number for as long as I've been racing.
Always. That was even. I guess I don't really know how demo derby stuff works. Do you have a number in demo derby?
I did not.
Okay.
No, I used the year I graduated. I used my wife's birth date. We ran demos here at Wichita, Hutchinson, Hayes, Canton. So those numbers were just whatever we picked out of.
I gotcha. Demo derby's a very different crowd. It's a different. That's JR's crowd. That's what we always say. That's JR's group of people. I'm gonna get a text here in a minute. I got a strike, but that's JR's group. But it's fun to watch.
It is.
I don't know that I want to be involved, but we had one here.
Mm-hmm.
Probably never have another one. There's a story to that one, but
there's always a story.
There's always a story why there's this one and done. But it's a it's a unique, it's a very unique thing that you guys do for the demo derby.
It is. And, I've got a guy there in Newton that I'm helping now. He helps me at the racetrack, but he's in the demolition derbies. And I go to these up there at Newton, and I said, my gosh, this has changed so much.
Mhm.
I mean, we used to go to get a car from the salvage yard, put a motor gas tank in it, would go out there and smash the car. Well, now they got to have some type of cage in it. They got to have a time limit if you got to hit a car. There's so much involved in this demolition derbies that they're spending as much money on their motors as we are in our race cars.
I noticed that. So the last thing I drove was an enduro car.
Yes.
Before the Speedway got sold, and that car sold it to a guy, and or had another car. I'm sorry, had two cars, and one of them caught on fire. So he ended up building the second car. So the first car, we sold it to a demo guy, and we delivered it to him, and he had some Crown Vic or something before, and he had the frame completely he did like a frame off build on a demo car.
Yes.
It was crazy.
It is. It's totally insane what they're doing with these. Well, up there at Topeka, they've got that one demo up there, and it's what, 100,000 to win.
Oh, on the inside thing, yeah.
No, this ain't right. But they're spending the money.
Yeah, it's unique to watch.
It is.
And they're man, you talk about a group having a good time. Everyone's having a good time.
Yeah, it is. So,
kind of going back to the racing, you've been around here a long time.
I have.
Kind of fast forward, 2020 happens. FOE buys the racetrack, and you raced for a long time without a wall. What's your thoughts on the wall?
I'm still getting used to the wall. I'm not very confident with being there yet, but I'm getting better. I'm glad to see the wall there, but because all your other racetracks have got walls,
right? So
it's still a learning experience for me. I am intimidated by it, I will say. So I'm getting more comfortable, but it's what it is.
Yeah. A lot of change. You've seen a lot of changes over the years. I don't know. I'd have to go back in my Melissa and C Ray history. I talk to them every Saturday night. Of course, they're here at the racetrack, and it's always good to see them. But I can't remember what year it was that they put bleachers in. Was it still the dirt grandstands when you started coming?
No, it was grandstands.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it must have been. Have to go back.
Yeah, it was before 70.
Yeah. And you saw a lot of stuff come and go, and just kind of looking at the evolution of things that have happened. What's one that you look at and you go, I can't believe that's not changed in all these years?
Oh, I haven't gave that much thought about the change. Everything is pretty much the same way it has. I mean, JR and Enterprise has done a lot of updates to this race facility, which is good. I don't really know of anything. Yeah. I mean, you still come in off of Broadway or 77th Street, and early in the time, when you come in turn one and go down the front straightaway into the pits. Well, now you come off of turn 4 and you exit turn 2.
Right.
But I don't really know of anything that's still the same.
Yeah. We try to keep the same tradition.
Oh, yeah.
But you got to kind of go with the times, and I think that gets lost on people every once in a while.
It does.
You gotta evolve, and you got to keep keep going. And the wall is like you mentioned it. That's every racetrack.
Yeah.
But it's also a huge safety.
Well, yeah.
When the insurance guy comes in and you don't see a wall, the insurance guy freaks out. So
definitely.
Yeah.
And that is good for the competitors because it's something that we're not used to.
Right.
Well, now we've got one. So how do we drive the track now?
Right.
And so like this big race coming up here next weekend, where you have these traveling guys that ran the wall all their pretty much their career, come here to us, and we're thinking, okay, they ran the wall, they know how far to push the limits. We don't.
Right.
So
yeah, a lot of people talk about the noise. It's a different noise with the banners and the wall, and you can hear people a little bit better. You kind of get some they don't like the noise that the wall makes, or the motor bouncing off. But then some people are like, I can hear when someone gets up on me a lot different.
That is correct. You used to, as in grandstands, when you didn't have the wall, the noise was able to spread out more. Well, now that you have the walls, the noise is more confined, and we as drivers do hear that, like you say, people coming up beside you or behind you. That helps us know that, okay, we better start pedaling a little faster, or something's going to happen
Yeah.
here. So
another thing, talk about, of course, we're in Kansas. 15-mile-an-hour wind. That's normal for us. That's not nothing, but it also kind of helps the dirt.
It does. It really does. Because without the wall, you come here on Saturday nights, if the wind was out of the south, you knew guaranteed 3 and 4 was going to dry out before 1 and 2 did. And do you set the car up for a tacky track, or do you set it up for a dry track? And now with the wall here, you don't have that wind blowing across like you used to. So it's pretty much, okay, I'm going to set it up for a dry, slick track, knowing that it's going to be consistent all the way around.
Yeah.
So,
with your job, and got to be at work in 2 hours, I would assume you didn't travel too far away, but besides, going over to Hutchinson, did you make it to Enid?
I did.
What other tracks have you visited in your career?
I have gone to Enid. I have gone to Lakeside. I've gone to I-35 up north of Kansas City. Hutchinson. I never did get out west because they never ran our division anywhere that we felt competitive where our car would meet their rules.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
Yeah. Another thing, very iconic, the blue and yellow. I've seen some pictures of a white and blue car. But those are I don't remember that car. I've just seen the pictures.
Yes, the white and blue one is one that we got from David Squire, and the one I got the car from Gary Riley, it was black and red, and that was our high school colors. But it's always been yellow and blue. It's been yellow and blue ever since we started running race cars in '89.
Just your favorite color?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
David Squire, we lost him.
Yes.
But you've mentioned him quite a few times. Just kind of want to reminisce on that.
Well, it just we raced against each other. We did a lot of stuff together outside of racing, and we do with all the other drivers as well. It's just you're not competitive for Saturday night. You're when you're away from the track, you're friends, and that's where we are. Anybody calls and talks, or we'll call up, do you have a part for this? Well, yes, you can come borrow it, or you can come get it. I mean, it's David Squire, Mike McIlvain, some of the ones that we've lost, and there's some of the ones that we used to race against moved away. And so it's just the competitiveness is at the racetrack, but away from it, you're friends. So it's
your guys is probably two classes here at the track that have a really tight knit group of racers. Would, of course, super stocks and the street stocks. You talk about it. You guys are, helmet on. We're racers. We're not really friends, but when you guys get down there to the scales, it's high fiving. It's, oh man, that was all, it's always refreshing to see. We, we have some of these some of these more competitive traveling, it's, the modified deal there,
Yes.
there's a lot at stake. And some of them, they let it get the best of them every once in a while, but you guys are out there to win too, but
Sure.
having a one heck of a time.
Oh, we do. It is really a fun division to be in. And, once you put that helmet on before you go out, there's no more phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
There's no more, would you do this? Can you do that? You put your helmet on and you're in your own world. And it don't make no difference if you're running against someone you don't like or if you're running with someone you do like. You're out there to have fun. If you win the race, okay. If not, hey, you walked away there, you can load your car up at night and go home.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's always, I have not really seen anybody that doesn't have a lot of fun running that division.
Right. Racing with your son. How's that? I'm in business with my dad, so it's a very unique relationship, and that's a very different world. But doing anything together, I can, especially if you're door to door and someone gets to beating on something. How's that work out?
Very challenging. Very challenging. I would not recommend it for anybody. Because my son's very competitive.
Yes.
And, but when a caution comes out, you wonder in the back of your head, was he involved?
Mm-hmm.
How bad is it? If a red flag comes out, was he involved? Is he hurt? What's going on? And I never get to watch him.
Right.
As a father, I really enjoy working with him on cars and doing stuff, but I never get to watch what he does.
Yeah.
And so I would not recommend it.
Not recommended. Well, not a good deal. But you mentioned you guys race out of the same shop.
Yes, we do.
But of course he's got to go to work every day, and you got all day to work on the car. So
yes, I do. And I do. Yes.
How's the cleanliness in the shop? Who's the cleaner one?
Oh, I would say both of us are. Yeah. He usually does his stuff at night, and I do my stuff during the day. Because by 6 o'clock, I'm ready for coffee and something to eat, and he's getting home from work. So I just, it's not very messy at all.
Yeah. Talk about Hall of Fame. You get inducted into the 81 Speedway Hall of Fame for the class of 2024. Of course, it's a little unique. I was trying to think back the other day. It's been a couple years since we've had someone still currently racing that gets inducted into the Hall of Fame. How do you, when you hear you're going to get inducted, where are you? How are you feeling? Kind of current thoughts.
Well, I was when Carl called me on the phone, I was out walking the neighborhood and I didn't know the number. I was going to wait till I got home. I got home, I called him. And he says, I got a couple of questions I want to ask you about some drivers going into the Hall of Fame. And I said, okay, I'll be willing to say anything I need to say. And as the conversations went on, he says, and you're one of them that's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I thought, oh my gosh, I was shocked. And I thought, man, this is really an honor for me, because I would never have thought that me would be being inducted in the Hall of Fame. And it was such a surprise that I was chosen this year. And it's just been awesome with everything, the fans and the drivers, and the newspaper did an article on us.
We shared it on the 81 Speedway Facebook page.
And it just overwhelming, really.
Yeah.
To think that I was one of them that they talked about being inducted in the Hall of Fame, and here I am. And okay.
I always get a little bit of slack from John and JR because I do talk to Carl, and he tells me who's going to go in, but I try to forget it because I don't want to. I do this every Thursday, and I don't want anything to slip. So then I kind of forget about it, and then they're always like, "You don't know?" I'm like, "I probably do, but I think I forget." So I don't tell anyone that they're going to get in before Carl calls them. So but that night, I would like for you to know it took me 2 days to get the red ink off of my thumb. But that was a very cool idea. Who kind of spearheaded that?
That part was my wife.
Yeah.
And my son had a deal out there in the pits for any drivers. They had the same poster over there, and my son put together a deal. Any drivers wanted to come over and autograph it, they could. But my wife was the one behind the one here in the grandstands.
Yeah.
And my daughter. So
where are those pictures?
Right now I have 2 of them hanging in the shop, and one of them's hanging downstairs at the house.
And where is the Hall of Fame plaque?
Right now it's in a case at the house in the living room.
Is it like a curio case?
Yes.
Yeah. In your years, you've won quite a few races. Where you keep all the trophy? I've always wondered where people keep their trophies.
Well, at the time, whenever with our championships, we'd always get one for the car owner and one for the driver. So one went to mom and dad's, and I had one downstairs. Well, now that I've got the shop big enough, that's where I've moved the ball to the shop.
Everything's out there. Yeah. I want to give you an opportunity. You have a lot of great partners on that 24B car. And I just want to, before we get too far out a little bit, I want you to take this time and just think of, everyone on the car who's either on it currently or helped you get to where you're at for the Hall of Fame.
I need to thank my wife and my family first, because they have been with me through my whole entire racing career. Mom and dad, they backed me, they supported me. And I got to thank Cornerstone Law. They've been with me ever since we started doing this stuff. Bueller Auto, he's the one that puts the motors together, and he's been really special to me. As a matter of fact, he helped me win the Nationals over at Hutch in '91.
Yeah.
And I got to thank Bumper to Bumper.
Yep.
And the Jay's Expert. He's got a tire business in Newton.
Yeah.
And Paradise Washing. They're new they came on board this year. 22 Hobbies, which is Fred Cross. He helps me with the race car.
Yep.
And
I spend a lot of money with Fred.
So
he gets me every time.
And then my cousin in Topeka, he's got a fabrication shop up there in Topeka. He helped me build my daughter's car, and he's helped me do work on mine. Who else is there? Oh, Bobby Bills. Bill's built race cars. He's been phenomenal with me, helping me with everything I need. And Gary Riley, high school buddy. We've just been doing a lot together.
Yeah.
And another guy, Lance Kester, he was a high school buddy. And there's just a lot of friends that have done things in the past to help us.
Yeah.
And the fans.
Oh, yeah.
The fans, these fans here are phenomenal. They really are. And it's just an honor to get to know these fans here.
Absolutely.
So
I put these fans at 81 and Humboldt up against Eldora, Lucas Oil.
Definitely.
Most loyal.
Yes.
Bobby Bills. You're gonna have him build a car, and I love Bobby. Let me just start with saying that. I love Bobby. Do anything for him. Appreciate him a lot.
Yes.
When you have him build a car, do you just kind of let him do what he wants, or are you down there telling him where to put bars in at?
No, I let him do what he wants, because like I said, our class is unique, where we have to have certain suspension ideas, whereas modified is totally different. a stock car is different. So he has an understanding what to do with the cars. And matter of fact, I let him drive the car a couple times this year to help me figure it out.
Yep.
And we're getting on the right page again.
You're there. You know, you kind of alluded to the class was dwindling in car count.
Yes.
And you know, one thing I think that is really important about John Allen, GM John Allen, is he is also a racer.
Yes.
And he wants to keep divisions alive. He doesn't want to hinder you guys. So anything that happens with rules, he talks to everyone.
Yes, he does.
And he is open to everything, and he wants to,
Yes.
you know, wants to listen. Talk about the relationship that, you know, as a past racer, now GM, talk about the relationship he has with the drivers.
Well, he has been involved in racing so many years that he has a concept of what changes each division has and what it's going to do to the car. Whereas you can say, John, I really think we could use this on our cars. And he would look at it and he mulls over it and says, okay, we'll try it. And if a lot of people say, okay, we'll make it a rule.
Right.
But, and JR is the same way. He used to race cars. So he has,
we won't talk about his racing
well,
career.
but he, but he has an
I haven't got a text yet, so I think we're good.
but both of them have an idea about what happens. But John is more in detail on all the divisions of what needs to happen because he's been around all of them for years.
And it's always spent a lot of time with John, and it's always about cost.
Yes.
We want to make this change. Okay. Is it cost effective?
Yes.
Because, you know, even in the super stock division, there's some people that have a huge budget, and there's some people that are just kind of rolling on what they got.
Right.
So it's if we're going to make a change, does it make financial sense to make the change
for everybody involved?
Right.
Just not for the ones that's got the budget or the ones that don't. It's just like this year we lost our Hoosier Tire quit making our tires for our class. So now we got to go find another outlet for our tires. And John's involved in that.
Right.
He's got an outlet for what we need. So he has connections. He has the people to talk to about what's coming up or what needs to change. So it's good for everybody.
You kind of talked about it a little bit. Kyle runs the LS motor. You know, LS is a big thing. It's kind of coming up. They actually make a crate motor. IMCA runs I believe it's a 525 crate motor.
Yes.
Going on to that, there's been some changes in rules based on being able for availability.
Yes.
For you run the GM 350 you know, type block. So, you know, what's kind of your outlook on that newer motor like Kyle's running?
The newer motor that Kyle is running is cheaper for everybody. At one time, you could go to a salvage yard, get a motor for $500, a complete motor for $500, put it in your race car that weekend and go racing and be competitive. And with Kyle and John being able to communicate back and forth, they've been making changes. And I really think that LS motor would be very competitive if more people would be involved in it.
Yeah. Kind of the same thing goes to, you know, you guys are running a stock front clip type deal. And same thing with the modified. You know, they only made so many 69 through 72, you know, and then of course AFCO gets a hold of the stamp and they're stamping them out. So kind of that same thing. If someone doesn't do something, you know, Brodex and they're all making blocks and whatever, but then there's also this cheaper, you know, avenue of motors coming out.
Right.
You know, is that something in your time? Maybe we get rid of the standard 350 that we're running the LS.
Probably the 350s that we used to run are being very hard to find. and the new 350 motors are heavier than what we used to be running. And the LS motor is pretty much the same weight, and it's cheaper.
Yeah.
It's cheaper to operate.
You're not an old man by any regard.
Thank you.
But there's got to come a time where you kind of look at it like how many more years I want to mess with this thing.
Yes, it's getting to that point sooner than I want to say.
Yeah.
I don't do the heat very well like I used to in
Me
the past, so I enjoy racing, but I've also got to start thinking, well, but my health is getting to the point where is the heat really worth me going out there? And so, do I want to say I'm a fair weather racer? Maybe, but
that's okay.
But yeah,
I'm a fair weather racer too. It's I've got the opportunity to go up to the booth now and announce, and I would always give Jeremy or Eric crap about the AC up there because it get hot down there in the infield. But that's okay to say. I agree. I agree.
Yeah, it's getting time to maybe, like I said, go full time with my son, and if my daughter wants to play with it on a few weekends, put her in the car. I'm to the point where I can sit out.
You got some grandkids.
I have 3 granddaughters.
Yeah. Go-kart. We got a go-kart track here. No, not into it.
No. We may have one. If she would be pushed to it, she might be competitive, but they don't. It's not their thing.
No. That's okay. I got 2. I have 3 daughters. 2 of them not too much into it, but one of them I think she's if she could have a fire suit like a dress, I think she would probably really be into it. But I kind of feel that. Just kind of looking at got championship night. And you mentioned bumper to bumper, of course, been a staple here at the Speedway.
Yes.
A long time. You got their hat on.
Yes. They have supported me through probably 15 years, and I'm very grateful for them being on board.
We've had Stu on the podcast and talked to him, and great story. Great, just loves the motorsports, loves the racing. I'm looking forward to seeing him. Saturday night, we're going to have a little appreciation thing for all them all here, and we're ready to go. But kind of looking towards the rest of the year, you got Saturday night, and then you got the super stock race
a week later,
and then you're going to be. Were we done for 24? We got something on the spectrum.
We got Enid.
Okay, we're going to go down for the nationals.
We got Enid down there.
Yeah, so. That's a racetrack. I've not been to a lot in my life, but the flagman's on the inside.
Yes, it is.
Some people are like, several people actually I've asked, they've ran a whole nother lap because they didn't know the flag guys there. And that's something that I don't know is anywhere else. The flagman on the inside.
I think there might be one out west, Waukene or Colby. I'm not really sure. Where they are there, but yeah, you are correct. The flagman is on the inside, and it's different.
As a racer, does that mess you up?
No, not really.
No.
Well, for me, it doesn't because
you've seen it. A couple times.
Yeah.
Nationals going down to Enid. We're excited at the Speedway for C. Ray and Melissa to basically return to the home.
Yes.
Go down to Enid. Kind of what's your thoughts on racing down there? It's a little bit smaller track. It's a little bit easier on the motors.
It's a very exciting track to go down there because at one time it used to be a horse track. And so when you're coming out of turn 4 and going down straightaway, you've got an embankment there that you can go off of, and you end up on the horse track.
Yeah.
And you got to get back up on in order to get back into turn 1. you got good corners in there.
Mhm.
You can really hold your speed there. It's an enjoyable track.
Yeah, looking forward to that
Oh
one.
yeah.
Yeah. When was the last time you won a nationals? Was that, what'd you say,
The last time was 2017.
2017?
Yeah.
Okay. I think you're
And
due. I think you're due
so-
to go down there. Yeah. Be a good time. About 50 minutes in, and I appreciate you being here. And I just want to say congratulations on the
Thank
Hall
you.
of Fame. Congratulations on the career.
Thanks.
Like I said, it is unique to have someone still racing in the Hall of Fame, and I'm trying to think now. I'd have to go back. Carl's going to hate me. I'd have to go back and see.
Yeah.
I love communicating with him, and we see him here.
Yes.
They meet here at the office every once in a while, so I get to see him after a show, and it's always good to kind of stand in the corner and listen to stories because that's what I love is stories.
There's a lot of stories here.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
I've talked about it before on the show. How I got into racing was my grandparents, my two grandpas, and I've lost them. They're no longer with us. So I've been on this journey here with the show to just hear stories about racing past because I never had a career to speak of, so I don't have anything to pass to my son, but I have some stories of when I was a kid that I can pass down from my grandparents and how I got here. So I appreciate you and everything that you do for the racetrack and everything you do for the racers.
Thanks, Andy.
And I appreciate, just seeing you. I'm always a little disappointed when you don't show up to the races. You and I have spent a lot of time down at O'Reilly Auto Parts Victory Lane, and it's always good. And I appreciate you coming on the show, and I appreciate you being just who you are, and just want to thank you.
Oh, thanks. It's like I said, it's been a real good trip for me. I've had a lot of fun, enjoyment in my career, and being inducted into Hall of Fame has topped it off.
Yep.
I mean, it was a very big surprise for me, and I'm still honored. And it's going to take a while for me to come off that cloud nine because I just didn't expect it.
Yeah.
So
before we go, we'll just kind of cover what's going to happen Saturday night. Of course, you kind of mentioned it, technology. So if you can't be here, racingdirt.com is your number one streaming source. I hope that if you're not here with us, you're watching Racing Dirt.
No, I'll be here.
You'll be here. But if you're not here though, you'll be watching.
Yes.
And that's fun.
Yeah.
That's my grandma down in Western Kansas. She watches every Saturday night, and of course I got an uncle that he can't be with us every Saturday night, so he watches. So that's always good.
Yes.
I've had some people tell me that they will use the Racing Dirt to kind of watch their car.
I do.
You do?
Oh yes. I'm very thankful for Dallas Bishop, James Furman, their videos, Racing Dirt. That is a learning tool that we have capability to our access that we can see what's going on with the car and make improvement. Oh yeah. It's something we never have had.
Did you ever think in your life you could sit at home and watch dirt track racing?
No.
Saturday night, bumper to bumper Wix Filter Auto Parts Championship night here at the Speedway. It's going to be a good one. We're going to seems like we just got started racing not too long ago, and it's already coming to an end.
I know.
Of course, children 10 and under into the grandstands absolutely free. Children 4 and under into the pits free. All classes are going to be here. Alternative Pest Management USRA Modifieds, Kansas Tow Company USRA B Mods, your JLR Property Management 316A Modifieds, your TM Fencing LLC Super Stocks, Rage Jerky Mini Stock and Tuners, and Allied Energy and Battery Incorporated stock cars. One championship's wrapped up, but the rest of them are going to come down to a checkered flag.
Yes. And the weather's going to be phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's going to be great for the fans in the stands, and the drivers are going to be able to stay cool. It's going to be a wonderful night.
It's going to be a great night, and we hope you can be here with us. We appreciate you each and every Saturday night making it here to the races. I want to remind everyone, we talked about it, Super Stock Special, the fall finale going to happen on October 5th. You're looking forward to that. You're ready to go.
Yes.
We got Twister City Enduro going to happen. We also got Power Wheels races.
I did-
You haven't seen that one?
I need to come down and watch that one.
That's a good time. A good time is had by all at the Power Wheel races. It is quite the sight.
Yes. So
It's good. We actually had someone last year, I believe, finished in the top 3 that never been to the races before.
wow.
The child had seen something about Power Wheels races and had like a John Deere tractor thing and begged mom to be here. So mom signed up and we finished in the top 3. So
that's good.
I'm pretty sure that kid's been here every race since, just waiting for the Power Wheels to go. So, gonna have 3 big races gonna happen. Have a special trophy.
Oh,
We're gonna unveil that. It got done today.
okay.
So, I'm part of that. I had it machined.
Okay.
I had it machined. So, we're gonna unveil that. It's a little teaser. So it's a cool trophy. You're gonna want to make sure that 24B is top notch, so you can take that nice trophy home. It's pretty
Okay.
sweet. It's been a great year.
Mm-hmm.
I want to thank you for being here again. Thank you for supporting the super stock class.
Oh yeah.
Great class. We want to see it grow.
Yes.
There's been a couple new cars. Alan Blevins showed back up.
Yes, he did.
He's been real busy, but got a good car and fast. And I think we're going to see maybe a couple more for next year.
Yeah. We had a couple of them sell and over the summertime, and I look for them to be back on that big race.
Mm-hmm.
And then Craig Miller, he talked about getting his super stock back together again. And so maybe we can get some of these other divisions or these other classes coming next Saturday to come over here more during the summertime to run with us. The Power Eyes and the other guys from Arkansas and maybe some from Enid. I mean, we'll work with anybody.
Absolutely.
So,
We'd love to see the pits completely packed full.
Yes.
Going to be a good one. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show. I want to thank everyone for tuning in on Thursday night for Above the Cushion. We need to thank our partners over at the Automedic, 3350 South Hydraulic Avenue. If you need to get your oil changed, tires rotated, brakes done, any general maintenance done on your tow rig or your commuter, go down there to our friends at the Automedic. Let them know that the racetrack sent you. If you need any of the great BG products, they are also a BG product center. Uhlik Music providing all of the audio equipment here in the Uhlik Music Studio. Need to thank them. If you go down there, you can go down there and catch a guitar jam session every once in a while. It's always fun to get down there and see what's going on. But we're looking forward to seeing everyone Saturday night. The bridge. We need to talk. I'm going to get in trouble if I don't mention the bridge.
Yeah, the bridge.
77th bridge is still out. It is going to be out until the rest of the race season, even on through the spectacular. So
wow.
You got to, if you're coming northbound on 35, you either have to go down to 85th Street and kind of make a loop, and you can get off and on 75th. You just can't cross the bridge. You can't go from east to west or west to east.
Right.
So we've had a couple little road closures in the last couple of years, but Park City's doing a great job taking care of everything. So 77th Bridge is still closed. You either got to go to 85th and kind of make a U-turn and come back and you can exit off 77th and get to the racetrack, or you can get off at 61st Street and take a scenic tour of Park City through the west side up Broadway and kind of on the old 81 highway tour to get up to the racetrack. So just want to remind everyone about that. I'd definitely get a phone call after the show if I didn't mention that from JR. So 77th Bridge is out. So want to remind everyone, Enduro, need to get your registrations in. Power Wheels, need to get your registrations in. There will be no late entries on the Power Wheels allowed. So you got to get everyone signed up and get it done. But this Saturday coming up, bumper to bumper Wix Filter Championship night here at 81 Speedway. We're looking forward to seeing everyone. I want to thank you for being part of the 81 Speedway family, Humboldt Speedway. Appreciate you guys. Little note for Humboldt, working on getting a one of our partners over there. I'm going to take the show. I'm going to pack it up in the car. I'm going to take it over to Humboldt, and we're going to interview all 5 championship winners. We're going to sit down. I'm hoping at Sam and Louise restaurant over there. I can,
Oh, that's good.
get them.
Yes.
Maybe I can get me a pizza and
Yeah.
and interview all the winners for the championship over there at Humboldt. So still working on the details of that, but I'll let everyone know as soon as I do. And we're going to take the show on the road. So very much looking forward to that. Want to thank everyone again for being here. Appreciate you very much. And we'll see you next Thursday night.
We hope you enjoyed tonight's thrilling content brought to you by the Automedic and recorded live from the Uhlik Music Studio. Remember, we're your go-to source for all the racing action you crave. Catch us every Thursday night for more high-octane excitement and behind-the-scenes insights live on Facebook and YouTube. Please like, tag, share, and subscribe. Until next time, keep your engines revving and your spirits high. Thanks for tuning in to Above the Cushion, the premier show for everything Humboldt Speedway and 81 Speedway. We hope you enjoyed tonight's thrilling content brought to you by the Automedic and recorded live from the Uhlik Music Studio. Remember, we're your go-to source for all the racing action you crave. Catch us every Thursday night for more high-octane excitement and behind-the-scenes insights live on Facebook and YouTube.